now. It's a modest margin of about 10 or 12 seconds, and it's all over for this pairing, I'm afraid. Feel sorry for Gautier because he put a lot into today.
He certainly did. He's ridden extremely hard. He looks to be, I think, at this stage of the race, the stronger of our pair out in front. But to be fair to Van Zyl, he's gone very deep. You know, putting in those accelerations to win the King of the Mountains points, they're really hard fought for. Sometimes when we see the King of the Mountains points fought for on our screens, we often see the riders roll to the front, but quite often, you know, the riders making quite an effort just to get in front and half wheel the other riders. So over time, chipping away, making those sorts of efforts over climbs does dig into your reserves. But Van Zyl, it looks as if, well, without predicting too much, just looking at how far the bunch is behind now, they are going to be absorbed on the climb. So the remaining King of the Mountains points aren't going to be taken by these two riders. So it's looking like birthday boy Van Zyl is going to be resplendent, as I like to use, as many people have pointed out, in the polka dot jersey.
I think I gave you that word some time ago and you've just adopted it. I can't use it anymore.
It's the first time I've used it today, though.
Just looking at some of those teams who were disappointed in the team time trial as the take is about to be made and race radio is about to shout all together. What about Katusha today? Tony Martin, what about him for a cheeky one today? He's now with Katusha Alpecin. It'd be a great way of opening his account. He'd have to rely on other teams starting to look at each other, but he gets over inclines really well, and we've seen him go on lone breakaways, and indeed he's been out there for much of the day on pretty long stages in Grand Tours, and then just about to be caught, he kicks off again. Don't be surprised if something like that happens today, because Katusha are a minute and 52 down, and it may well be that BMC are playing the long game. I think everyone, though, is out for a little bit of victory today. Now it's all back together. Quick-step floors are seemingly the most motivated out there. Don't discount the men in Tangerine. It's not Euskadi, they're no longer with us. Euskadi Basque country have now changed to a sort of a pea green, or a tree frog green, as you'll probably see. But Sprandi have got Masisz Paterski and Simone Ponzi. Now Ponzi could do a cheeky one on a day such as this if the bigger teams start to look at each other, thinking about the long game. Interesting as well here, Matt, to see Astana suddenly coming to the fore and possibly thinking about some of those potentials for late on. They didn't have a bad team time trial, minute 16 down, so they've still got something to gain out of this race.
Well, there's still, you know, we've still got four. We've got this climb to come. We've got 3 more difficult stages to come. That there are plenty of opportunities, but they're going to have to use it. That's why we're seeing Astana in a slightly different kit this year. They've gone for black shorts over the blue shorts of last year, and running different bikes. They've moved from Specialized bikes to Argon 18 bikes, the Canadian brand. So slightly different look to Astana, but yeah, they're going to be looking after Jakob Fuglsang, Michele Scarponi, and also I think Dara Cataldo. They're going to be their options for the overall GC. Do
you want a favourite and a cheeky one? You're going to pick one. Favourite for me today, I'm going to go for Greg Van Avermaet. Cheeky side dish, Ray Crader from Rompot. I've seen them just creeping up here, and they're bringing Ray to the head.
I'm going to go for Gilbert.
Phil Gilles, we love him, don't we? Let's see. And who's your cheeky side dish?
Ooh, Magnus Cort Nielsen.
Go for somebody from Sprandi.
No, Magnus Cort Nielsen.
Go for Sprandi. No.
Okay.
Mate, he's too big a name, mate. Well, you can't do that.
Marcin Biliablowski is going to go for a long one. Which he can do.
He can.
He's moved from One Pro Cycling to CCC Sprandi. So I've got Marcin as a cheeky side bet. Boy, that boy can TT well. He can climb pretty well as well. But of course, a lot will depend on how they rip up this final climb. Many teams, a lot of interest. Now it's Rompot on the front for the Netherlands.
Well, all singing, all dancing. He can sing, he can dance. Beer Blocky, will he skip all the way to the line? We'll find out. Opens up dead centre, and Katusha joined the fun as well. The pace is on. They're going to take this final climb with gusto, I think it's fair to say. They'll get over the top, and then we're going to have some fun. Nice to see Vassal bringing his...
You've got to love that style,
visage. Look at that. It scares everybody. Me included.
He's a... Well, just look at that. It's like poetry, hardly moving at all. I mean, I'm sure he must do some core work, but no, so strong. Former world team time trial champion. You know, such a forms the main part of Team Sky's engine room. But look at the multiple arrowheads. We've got Shah now on the front in the green jersey for BMC. He's keeping that points jersey warm. Done a lot of work today.
Wow, this is going to get extraordinarily busy. Opens up dead centre, and AG2 Le Mondial come in. This is for Oliver Nason. Now he's a roller. He can go. He can go very well when he needs to, and so don't be surprised if AG2 Le Mondial are in there. Phil Gilles bringing up the tricolour.
He certainly is Belgian road champion, of course. All his teammates in that blue, the slightly different blue this year. They've almost got it rewound 10 years, so it's a look of the Quick Step team many years ago.
Kwiatkowski's in there.
Growing on. Kwiatkowski is also there.
Polka dots. Yeah, he's in the frame. Green jersey as well. This is absolutely fantastic.
Talking of green jerseys, look out for the Cannondale Drapak duo of Sepp van Mark. Of course, he's now back with the team that he rode a few years for. Swapping the green, well, the blue for green, and also Walter Whipper is a bit of an outsider should this stay together. But I'm just going to be interested to see who takes it up, who attacks, or whether we see one team try and whittle this bunch down over this climb.
Walter Whippet goes like a greyhound, just slightly smaller. So here we are coming into town, and Denier beckons, and including that pesky corner of 350 metres. Because of the rain we've had today, I'm getting a little bit worried about it, to be honest.
It's drying up, isn't it? But that can be worse. It can lull the riders into a bit of a false sense of security. The road's clearly drying, but there's still some of those wet patches which can catch you unawares.
Have your fun when you can. We're making that turn right now. Little left-hander round the outside of town. And here it is, big squeeze point. Let's have a look how they manage it. 4, 5, 6 wide coming in, and these guys just pushing on, keeping the tempo nice and high out front. This is going to be dramatic. Philippe Gilbert has got a wingman, in fact 2, and is looking handy at the moment. Quick Step flooring then, looking nice and tasty, at least to do something. By the way, we've got Dan Martin within the group as well. This is the Alto de Montgo that we're dealing with. Only 3rd category, seems a bit... I think they possibly could have gone for an extra categorisation, but then again, the classing of climbs within Spain is always a mystery to us, although we have got 2 category 1s on stage 4 on Saturday, including the Mas de la Costa. Cannot wait for that. That is a real brute to finish off, and will indeed end many ambitions as far as this race is concerned. So we start out flying. We do indeed. Interesting to see Roompot on the front. If you look at a rider that's capable of doing well in this race on the overall classification, it has to be Peter Weening. I must admit, he's had a great couple of seasons with Roompot. It's really come into the fore after spending some time with Orica. And he's the rider just in second. Well, I think it's actually Peter Weening on the front at the moment, or he might be second wheel, but I did see Weening up there. It's an absolute brute, this. This is the actual start of the formal climb. They go over a little hillock and then hit it here by the city walls. You can see the chalk block, which is actually cut with a saw, would you believe? Nice and soft. Did it myself once, just to rebuild a wall in northern France. Anyway, moving further south, as we are now. 10 Ks out, and all hell about to break loose. Roompot busy, the men in their tangerine and black, working for Ray Crader, we believe, but they may have other fish to fry. Likewise, other teams. I think Spandi Polkovici are looking very likely. Simone Ponzi is very much up there, along with Maciej Peterski, who can time trial a bit. Beer Blocky likewise. They've got that trio in their orange, and look how it's thinned down. There was a lot of riders that didn't fancy it once we got under the air bridge to announce this climb, and in fact we have thinned in terms of personnel. This will be the end of contention for many a rider today. Let's see how they take it on. It still says 10k to go, despite the fact we're now around about 500 metres at least within the climb itself. It does snake a little bit. The descent, though, is our main worry. It certainly is. Well, the bunch really narrowing out. Riders gradually getting shelled like peas from the back of this bunch, still being led by Roompot. Remember, 199 riders took the start, 12 World Tour teams, 7 Pro Continental teams, and 6 Continental teams. That is Peter Weening, that very distinctive style on the front. Rider from the Netherlands, former winner of a stage of the Tour de France. Remember, very classy rider, just leaning on that big gear at the moment. Fascinating to see that Nero Quintana, who said the team time trial yesterday, actually went okay. He is such a competitor, and he's very much embedded. You'll see him he's the nearest to the white line in the middle of his team, wearing what looks like a green sash across the chest. It's actually an expanded M, but looks a bit like a V. Might be V for victory, you never know, for Quintana at the end of this one. He's a minute and 2 down as far as the overall is concerned, but embedded within the business end of this, and that's great to see.
Yeah, Nairo Quintana, that's the camera focusing up on him, looks to study a concentration. He's got those knee warmers on, just glancing around, looks extremely comfortable at the moment. But the two riders still riding hard on the front. It is Peter Veening. Just on his wheel is Pim Lichthart. Used to ride for Lotto, the former Netherlands road race champion. He's a good bet for today as well. This small, short club. Oh, that motorcycle. Ooh.
Just tried to get through.
There's no space there.
He's been ordered through and there's no space. And he needs to just take his time, quite frankly. Went for it. At least he dabbed on the brake. Gets the get-go right now with an apology, raised hand. But really no need for that, and actually there is. He's security. He's one of the bike, bizarrely, he's one of the bikes that will go over the top and then guard dangerous corners. And here we are, we've got this strikeout straight away.
We have an attack. This is a really good move here. It looks like it is David de la Cruz who's gone, the Spanish rider for Quick Step Floors. He's taking with him Tony Martin from Katusha in the red. Well, the German rider. This is a good move.
I said that Tony Martin could be one of those who goes for a long one. Now, if he gets over the top, do not be surprised if he goes all the way today. Still can't see whether it is indeed Martin. Here he is. Wow. Well, maybe they've been listening to us, Matt. They're going to come up over the top, and then they'll have 6 kilometres to time trial all the way to the line. Hearing the clarion call is Marcin Biablocki, who's trying to get over to them as well. He knows that if he can get with Tony Martin, they've got a chance of making this stick. So the man in the tangerine also comes and joins the fun. What a scenario!
Well, David de la Cruz looked very, very strong there. Look, Tony Martin comes straight through. It's difficult to get used to Tony Martin. We've been with Quick Step for so long, but there he is in the red of the Russian team, Katusha Alpecin. Turning that gear, opening up this lead now. De la Cruz struggling to hold on his wheel. Also one of the riders from Movistar now.
Look at this. He has the luxury, if you like, on the corner of having an easier look back to see where the pursuers are. Lotto Jumbo, I think it's Roglic that's picked this one up, trying to work for Kruijswijk or Van den Broek, trying to get over to them as well. They know the danger therein of Tony Martin, but it was a good little bit of softening up. And in fact, Tony Martin's teammate is coming straight through to have a look at this. Is it Mamikin, who can climb very well at a moment such as this? I think it might well be. We're too far away for the time being. So once we get to the crest, 6Ks or 6.8Ks from home is what we'll be dealing with. You may well have to have your time trialing head on at a moment such as this. Big shake-up at the front. 5, 6, 7 riders at the moment wanting to get there first.
It is the wasp-like jerseys of Team Lotto NL Jumbo. It did look like it could be Primoz Roglic. Looks like quite a punchy rider. I think that is him. Another one of the Katusha riders now on the attack. David de la Cruz straight on the wheel in the blue of Quick Step Floors. This is again Tony Martin going on the attack. How strong is this rider? Still a couple of kilometres to the top of this climb.
Well, there we are, just under the Eurosport mountain classification. Pleasure to indeed have our sponsors, our own sponsorship upon it. 6Ks to go. This is going to be dramatic. What a finale we have in the offing right now. If you thought this was going to be all about sprinters, think again. It's about being brave and having the capability to carry your belief.
Well, they shot up that climb, pardon me. There are only 6Ks to go. Still Tony Martin on the front. The roads look far drier than they were on the previous lap, but still patches of wet. These riders have to think about the way they're descending, but very, very difficult to chase and get back in contact when the conditions are like this. Tony Martin still driving on the front. David de la Cruz of Spain and Quick Step Floors on his wheel.
6 kilometres to go then. We've got 5 up front. Now, you've got to be able to descend, but more crucially, you've got to be able to take on the flat section, which is over 2 kilometres in length. And if you're a time trialist of the sort of stature that Martin is, still need to get a better close-up of him, actually, just to make sure, because there was another Katusha rider within the frame, but certainly looks like Tony Martin with 6Ks to go. In fact, it is. So he is heading into it then, using the camber beautifully. Now, they have no fear of him at the moment such as this, but Martin can descend brilliantly. This motorcycle needs to get the hell out of there, to be honest, because Martin will be able to take a much tighter line than the bigger machine with 2 men on board, including a cameraman. He's hitting the buzzer as well, just to warn everybody to get out of the way. Other bikes need to be cleared. He's doing a good job. So is Tony Martin on a drier section right now. Is he going to hit the bottom? If he does and he's alone, even if it's a modest advantage of 5, 6, 7 seconds, he could carry it all the way.
He has one of the biggest engines in the peloton. Once he opens up a gap, as you said, Colton, on the flat, he is a rider capable of taking all the way to the line. We know Katusha have been training on these roads. I wonder if he's dialed this one in specifically. He's taking a few metres out of the riders behind. I think Nara Quintana is in that group as well, in the navy blue and green of Movistar, and some big gaps starting to open on this very, very twisty and technical descent.
Well, even though it's only a gap of 4 seconds at the moment, a little bit less than that right now, it's getting sketchy amongst those chasing on, and Tony Martin just manages to get himself out of sight. There he goes. They won't be able to see him now until this point. Lovely sinuous road that we're dealing with right now. Great drama here with 5 kilometers to go. Cannot wait to see how this pans out. That pesky final turn is going to be oh so important, but more so, I think, for me, it's going to be the last 2 kilometers. If Martin can get 7 seconds with 2Ks to go, I think he might just make it stick.
Well, he's descending with real finesse and skill. He's taking a few risks as well, but sometimes when you want to win, you have to take those risks. He's opened up a few meters now on the group in front. This is this slight plateau on this descent now, this real chicane here. Wonderful shot of Martin taking this descent like he's on rails.
Brilliant work. Almost took out a piece of wall a few moments ago. It's sensational to see him in this kind of mood, quite frankly. Has a check over his shoulder, just likes what he sees and then focuses on the road ahead. Please look forward. That's where you need to. 4Ks to go. It'll be the 3 banner before you know it. Now, we said he needed an advantage of about 7 seconds to make it stick. I believe he's going to do it. Tony Martin, absolutely amazing. He's hitting the flatter section right now, so he's off the descent essentially. There's a little bit more to go. There's a kick, and then it's back down again with 2 remaining. My life, what a way to open up your account at Katusha.
This is an absolutely thrilling finale to this stage of the Tour of Valencia. The 4 times world time trial champion is out in front, went over the top, used his skill, combined that with the power that he has. He's now opening up a gap. We've got 5 riders in between, then a big gap to the rest of the bunch, which is spread all down this climb. Can he hold on? He certainly has the power to do so. Will luck be on his side?
Big moment coming up right now. It's not here, it's on the roundabout that's about to beckon at the bottom of this hill. You can see that the rain, the road is still very wet here, and it was the moment that a little bit earlier on you saw Cyril Gauthier on his own looking a bit shaky. Now there are 6 chasers at the moment, but what's the gap? We'll just have to pick something out for you road furniture wise. Maybe you can do it at home, but the chase down is happening right now. And is it Van Mark who's on a push here? I can't quite see it. No, I don't think it is. It looks like it's not Campanets, is it? 4K's out.
Quintana's there.
Quintana most definitely is there, and here most definitely is Tony Martin. Now the thing is, you've got to catch Tony Martin. Doesn't matter how narrow the gap is, and here's the roundabouts, a series of them that we're going to have to worry about, and so is he, but likewise those behind him too. He's a great bike handler, he knows how to get his head down, he's a mighty engine, and he can win this.
Well, this section of road will suit him down to the ground. He's got his head down, gets very aero, but more importantly is putting an immense amount of power through this bike, catching up the leading cars, gets into that aerodynamic tuck. His gap now hovering at around 3 or 4 seconds from the group behind. 6 riders there. Nara Quintana in the mix. I think Dan Martin is there, the Irishman riding in the blue of Quick Step Floors. But look at the speed of Tony Martin as he approaches the Esplanade to the run to the finish.
Yes, it is. It'll hook round the road to this Esplanade, and then he will have a little roundabout to deal with. You can see we've still got a little bit of altitude to lose. No, in fact, we haven't. We're there. We're on the flat, good and proper. Clock's out. It's about 1.8 kilometers to go. He can make this count. As soon as he hits the Flamme Rouge, he's going to start to believe. Right now, he needs to forget about looking behind himself and just keep the nose in the wind. That's exactly what he's doing, using every bit of it. Now, Tony Martin, at a moment such as this, it's a question of whether you can catch him. I think this is the race for runners-up spot as we are right now.
It is. They don't seem like they're really pressing on. I mean, I think one of the riders there is Peter Weening on the back for Roompot. He's not assisting with the chase. Astana now goes to the front. It looks like it could be Cataldo from Astana. No confirmation, but meanwhile, out in front, it is the world TT champion doing what he does best.
Absolutely. Once the bit is between his teeth, and we've seen very narrowest of margins. I've seen Tony Martin on a lone run lead a race, a stage race, by about a couple of minutes. The gap has come down to about 7 seconds, and then just pushes away. Well, right now he's got to push on for 1 kilometre. He's not going to get caught. It may be a narrow margin, but frankly, there are no sprinters involved behind him, and I'm afraid Tony Martin has blown everybody out of the water. What a remarkable performance. He's bringing it home.
Power, skill, descending prowess, he has got it all. He's just got to make sure he gets round this final 90-degree left-hander, then the victory is his.
Here we go then, just coming through one of the, well, past Helly Hansen. Free ad for them. There's the roundabout that I was worried about, and these guys are looking at each other and cursing, I'll be bound, because they know that they haven't worked together properly. This man, everything has worked absolutely beautifully. Now this is bonus seconds that Quintana's after here. 4 hours and 44 in the saddle, and everyone else starting to worry about it. No worries for Tony Martin. What a performance that was. Straight over, went on the attack. We predicted it may well happen. Well, he listened to the prediction, and more than that, he's turned it into reality. Tony Martin is never going to get caught when he's in a situation such as this. No matter how narrow the gap, he can hold it and bring it all the way home. What a phenomenal victory, and what a way to introduce himself to his new team. Katusha Alpecin will love the fact that Tony Martin has chalked up a victory here today. Absolutely outstanding. Well, it's the race on, but goodness me, Tony Martin has wrapped this up. Ropot worked very, very hard out there, and across the line they come.
That was a Pim Lichtart who just got a great second place there for Ropot. The bunch behind being led by Greg van Avermaet and Philippe Gilbert.
Well, we expected them potentially to be dicing it out for victory. Gilbert at the end just thought, well, why push for that extra bit? No more, of course, time bonuses in the offing, but Tony Martin, what a hero. Minute and 52 down at the top of the day. He'll find some time back today, including a 10-second bonus. Well, I've got to say, I told you so.
That was an absolute thriller, wasn't it? I mean, you did predict Tony Martin, or was he a cheeky side bet for you?
No. Just at the top of the day, if he gets over the top.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
he's going to go for it. My life. Fantastic day today, and what a great win. I do like to see Tony Martin make it count. So often we've seen his hopes shattered within the last 300 metres, haven't we?
Well, it was an interesting move, I think, in the off-season. Many people, I think there was a few raised eyebrows when he moved across to Katusha Alpecin, but what a way to open your account. A fine victory. We know once he opens up a little bit of a gap, he's almost impossible to bring back, but what impressed me was the panache, the style, the verve and the skill of that descent. Opened up the gap and then basically brought it home along the finale. He looks absolutely delighted there, kisses his jersey. Win number 1 on the board for Tony Martin.
Welcome to Katusha, Tony. Wow, what a great day. Well, we said this was going to be for the baroudeurs. I wonder what that is in Spanish. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to Rioja. That's going to be a sprinters day, and I imagine Mr. Bouhanni is going to have his fun. There'll be others to try and stop him, naturally. Mr. Coquin wants French bragging rights. Nacer goes quickly. You never know. Somebody like Philippe Gilbert even might do a cheeky one. We'll wait and see. But it looks like this race, every single day, is going to have some excitement about it. It's why we love Valencia.
Definitely, it's since its re-inception last year. It was a joy of a race to commentate on. And what an exciting team time trial yesterday, of course, but what an exciting finale that was today. Brilliant bike racing.
Absolutely outstanding. Dania, thank you very much. What a fantastic finale we have had here. Tomorrow we go from Riba to Rioja. Not Rioja, there seems to be an I missing there, but it's Rioja. Then we go to Lucena on Saturday. That's the big kick up to Mas de la Costa. And then we have the day potentially in the wind. We'll see. Apparently wind could be a big issue tomorrow. We've got a weather front moving in. As it moves away, then the wind that circulates around such depressions can, of course, cause havoc. So we'll see whether that's the case on our run to Rioja tomorrow. When we get to Lucena and the Mas de la Costa, that's going to be a day where the mountain goats take control. And it might be that Quintana, who will be energized by his performance today, suddenly starts to strut his stuff up Lucena, because it may not be as long a climb as he would have liked. It's a bit punchy for him. More of a Valverde kind of thing. He's not here, but Quintana most certainly is. if he's in the spirit, it will rise.
Definitely. Well, he was riding really well there, descending well. Looked to becoming another rider that impressed me there was David de la Cruz. But I was just looking back amongst the riders who finished way back, and defending champion that I spotted in the group, 59 seconds behind our Wednesday Tony Martin, was Volta. Clearly had a bit of a problem. I don't know if that was on the descent or the climb itself. He was in the orange jersey leading the combination classification. He came across the line, they said 59 seconds in arrears. So Quintana's taken back a fair bit of time on the defending champion.
Well, he needed to, and he did. This man could have done with a victory. I'm sure his team as well would have been expecting a couple throughout the season.